Gulf Coast, and joining us now in the Element Well Studios in the Convention Hall is the mayor of Moss Point, Mississippi, Mayor Billy Knight. Mayor, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. It's Gerard to be in here.
Yes, sir. So we were just remarking at what an incredible turnout we have for this event. You got to be excited about that. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of optimism that we're seeing across the landscape of Mississippi towns and cities. It's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal, and we're happy to have you all here on the coast. And I think it's just part of the people just excited to get out again.
I agree.
I hope we don't move too fast and letting our guard down with this COVID thing, but
yeah.
I think people are just excited about getting out again and enjoying this beautiful weather. And also the important thing for me is next month I'll be in this job 1 year, so it's about coming to learn and to continue to learn what we can do to improve our city, and this conference is always important to me.
Well, being around your peers like this that are mayors and city leaders across the state, there's a great deal of value, is there not, Mayor, in having that face-to-face interaction with them, talking to them about what's working, what's not?
Exactly, because I don't believe in reinventing the wheel if I don't have to.
Sure.
So I seek out the guys that's been around much longer than I've been to get their opinion about things that's going on, and it is very helpful. Sometimes it's more helpful than sitting in a workshop, because those guys is on the ground doing this work every day, and it's always good to get their opinion and their ideas about what they've done when they had these same kind of issues. So it's so much easier to understand it as well when you talk to these guys that's been around for a while.
Yeah. And it's not far from your home, Moss Point, not far from where we are.
No, it's about a 35-minute drive for me to come over here, so I'm going back and forth every day. And, I can go back even between meetings today. I got a 2 o'clock meeting in my office. I go back and I'll come back, and it's very convenient for me.
Yeah. How's it going in Moss Point these
Pretty
days?
good, man. I'm still learning a lot about what I don't know.
Sure.
And as I learn that, then I try to make corrections, and so it's getting better. We got 3 more years at this, and we made some progress, but we still got a lot of work to do, but I look forward to it.
Well, I respect you, Mayor, for making that statement. I tell you why. I have a lot more regard and confidence in a leader who says, there's stuff I don't know that I can learn, than a person says, I don't need any help, I know it all. That's when I get worried, because nobody does. No. And if you understand that, you understand, I need to learn more about that, and I call on people who have the expertise in those subject matter areas and collect those inputs as good leaders do, and then apply those in making decisions and being a leader.
When I was running, my motto was that we all in this together.
Sure.
And I also let people know right up front, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So I need good people around me that know this stuff that I don't know.
Sure.
So my leadership is that I want to get good people around me that can help me figure out those things that I don't know, and make people understand and feel comfortable in the fact that we are all in this together.
Well, I commend you for that, sir.
Yeah.
I really do. What are you looking to get out of the conference? Is there anything in particular that's kind of a high priority for you that did you hope to get accomplished here, or that the group hopes to accomplish?
Well, we all go into these workshops looking at the agenda to say what workshop that we can benefit the most from when we come back home that would help our city. And so all of our aldermen, they look at the schedule and they decide that this I need. So we won't be going in the same workshop. We all try to pick.
Okay, you spread out. You kind of make those. You plan that ahead of time.
And when we get back, we can say, okay, what did you learn? Is there anything you can get that you can bring back to the city? And we share those ideas. So, we look at different areas. We look at economic development because we've really got to get some resources into Moss Point.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of industry over the years, so we got to find a way to bring those resources back. So we're big on economic development. We're talking about ideas on recreation because our recreation program's been down. We got housing issues that we got to deal with. We got flooding issues that we got to deal with. So we always try to find workshops that would help us understand how we can better improve those situations. And so all our aldermen are looking with those things intentionally so that we can learn from that each year to bring it back.
Something, Mayor, that always strikes me is a little unique about the coastal area and the 3 counties that comprise the coast is that we that don't live on the coast look at it as kind of almost one community, so to speak. But you've got individual cities and towns that comprise the community and individual counties, but they all sort of run together, which is unique, I think. Right. And there's a lot of benefit to that, is there not? You guys working together?
Well, it is, and look, that's also part of my thinking that I'm bringing to the whole Gulf Coast. When I say we're all in this together, you don't hardly know when you're out of one city to another city. Okay.
Exactly.
So what happened? We got a task force, a drug task force now, that every city within the county, Jackson County, Ocean Spring, Goche, Pascagoula, Moss Point, has a drug task. That every city have a representative on that. And when there's a real drug issue in an area, that task force goes to that area to suppress that. Okay? So that's all 3 municipalities, including the county, working together with that. Okay? So I'm saying, why can't we do that in more areas? Like I brought up this issue at a leadership. Why can't we rethink? And I brought up this word paradigm. Why don't we have a paradigm shift?
Sure.
And have one metro police department? You know, we're already working together with this task force.
How was that received?
Well, they're still thinking about that.
Okay.
Because I'm saying we're so close together and we're all working together anyway with this task force. Why not just one police department? You know, why not just think about that? Why don't, we're all right here together. You don't know when you're out of one town into the other. We're already helping each other.
Yeah.
Pascagoula is helping Moss Point. Moss Point helps Pascagoula. Ocean Spring comes into Moss Point. So we're all helping each other anyway. So why can't we think about, can we save resources? Can we be more effective? Let's think about it. Yeah. Let's change that paradigm, if you would. Let's think about that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's awesome, and at a minimum it bears consideration and discussion, because I think the difference is, and the distinction is, you're adjacent. It's not like, well, that's really not practical because there's 50 miles that separates us. That's not the case whatsoever. And so you could achieve some economies of scale, we do in the private sector.
That's right.
You may end up spending less money but improving the overall quality of law enforcement.
Well, what is happening now is that, and I said this in the meeting, none of us, no city has enough money to do what needs to be done right now.
You're all limited when you're operating as islands, isolated, but when you pool your resources, you can maybe achieve what you need to do.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think it would go so much. I think it would go so much further, man. Again, we all know that we don't have enough resources in each city to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
We listen here, we improve over here, we do this, we move money around. Well, why don't we just consider, bring it, see if we can save. I think we could save. We could probably be more effective.
Yeah.
And, just a thought that I'm throwing out there.
Well, when you look at all the government functions at the municipal level, it seems to me like it makes sense to consider that across that spectrum, where it maybe makes sense and where it doesn't. But given the fact that we have an ever-increasing demand for services and a challenge with supply, it makes sense to think about everything.
Right. And I think the government would be more, the state government as well as the federal government, would be more amenable to help us if we see us all really working together in that way. To say we're going to fund this one agency here rather than funding. I can put a package together to go up there for my little problem, but what if we look at it more holistically?
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. And that you may be onto something that starts to gain traction and become a more common theme across Mississippi, maybe even across the country, because as you well know, Mayor, it's done at the local level. That's where the government, first of all, is most effective, and it in many ways affects people the most. And so it makes sense to make that as efficient, effective, and as high caliber as possible. Makes total sense.
I'm just bringing a new idea to the table.
No, I totally understand and appreciate and respect you for. Got to think out of the box when you got a rash of very difficult challenges. Everything's got to be on the table.
That's right.
And that sounds like what you're doing.
Right.
Are you optimistic about the future of your community and our state?
No doubt about it, because we got a lot of young people around me that keep me young, and a lot of creative ideas, and And we're trying to provide the best leadership we can so they could observe and watch. And yeah, I'm optimistic because we're getting young people around that's really interested, and I think the future is bright for Moss Point and the Gulf Coast.
That's awesome. Appreciate you coming and visiting with us on Middays today, Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me.
Mayor Billy Knight, the mayor of Moss Point, Mississippi, has been our guest. We're going to take a break right here. When we come back, we've got the mayor of Philadelphia, Mississippi, James.